Peer Pressure by Melanie and Samara Taraski, English 3rd hour.
What is peer pressure? Peer pressure is a term used to describe how a teen's behavior is influenced by other teens.
There are two types of peer pressure: active, which is verbal criticism, and passive, which is trying to fit in with other teens.
Be prepared. Think through situations ahead of time. Plan how you say no if someone offered you a cigarette, a drink, or a ride with someone who shouldn't be driving. You can even practice saying them in the mirror. That way, if you find yourself in that situation and you barely have to think, you'll come off cool and collected. And the folks who are pressuring you, you will be less likely to push back after you say no.
If someone's trying to get you to do something you know you shouldn't, or something that makes you nervous, say no. And be proud that you're strong and doing what's right for you. Stand up straight, make eye contact, and don't be apologetic for your actions. Rather, you should feel good about what you're doing.
Be a good friend. Don't ever put a friend in a situation where they feel bad about not wanting to do something that you might want to do. If someone's trying to pressure your friend, help him or her stand up. You can say, "No thanks, we don't do that," or "Sorry, we're on our way to the mall."
Try to avoid bad peer pressure by spending time with friends who don't make you uncomfortable or try to get you to do things you don't want to.
In the book, when Dally has Two-Bit's switchblade and was using it to get his way, Dally was peer pressuring the nurse and the doctor to get out and to see Johnny in the hospital while he was dying. Important influences on teen drinking include relationships with parents, parental drinking, sibling drinking, participation in religious activities, and the media. In the book, when Bob was messing with Johnny, he was drunk, which also caused Johnny to kill him.
Nearly everyone ends in a sticky peer pressure situation at some point. No matter how wisely you choose your friends or how well you think you know them, sooner or later you'll have to make the decisions that are difficult and that could be unpopular.
It may be something simple as resisting the pressure to spend your hard-earned babysitting money on the latest MP3 player that everyone has, or it may mean deciding to take a stand that makes you look uncool to your group.
It's not always easy to resist negative peer pressure, but when you do, it is easy to feel good about it afterward. And you may even be a positive influence on your peers who feel the same way.
Often it just takes one person to speak out or take a different action to change a situation. Your friends may follow if you have the courage to do something different or refuse to go along with the group. Consider yourself a leader and know that you have the potential to make a difference. Peers can be positive and supportive. They can help each other develop new skills or stimulate interest in books, music, or extracurricular activities. However, peers can also have a negative influence. They can encourage each other to skip classes, steal, cheat, use drugs or alcohol, or become involved in other risky behaviors. The majority of teens with substance abuse problems began using drugs or alcohol as a result of peer pressure.
Another example of peer pressure is when Derry always forces Ponyboy into everything and he's always yelling at him for everything he does, so he always feels all sad. Being different is an issue that is dealt with, as well as peer pressure and violence. I chose this topic because I thought it would be interesting to see how this is in our lives every day. I figured out that the book has a lot of peer pressure once I found out what peer pressure could be. I also wanted to know how many types and what peer pressure consists of. In the research I found put that peer pressure is the littlest things from getting you to try new food or buying someone something that is 25 cents.
I chose this topic because not a lot of people really understand what peer pressure really can do to you. In the book, almost everyone was pressured into doing something or thinking they should be like someone else. Everyone has been pressured, including me. Sometimes it drives people to the point that they think suicide is the only option. Would you think that it's funny for someone to kill themselves because of you? When I did my research for this project, I realized this is a big deal. You should never be pressured to do something that you don't want to do.